Hey guys, Sirens Thunderbolts 1003 here again. Now this video is going to be different. I'm going to be showing the differences between a Canadian Model 2 and a Federal Enterprises Model 2, which isn't far off from the modern Model 2 you'd see. But yes, that's why here. So the first, you could see the very first difference already, which is the motor on a Canadian Model 2 is facing up, while the motor on a Federal Enterprises Model 2 is facing down. You can see I haven't got around to getting this rewound yet, so that's going to be on my to-do list for some time. But yeah, it's just to look at right now. But anyways, you can also see that they added this piece here. This is like a piece of metal here. It's like a, if you think of it as a cone, and then they put it onto the chopper itself here. They screwed it on, and then they added legs to this cone here. And this disc, of course, keeps the housing on straight, which I've actually had a lot of trouble trying to get it on too, but I've managed to get it a couple times pretty well. So it's just a matter of getting it on straight and that kind of thing. But so you can see the motor on top here. This is the motor, and down here is the motor for the Federal Enterprises 2. So the choppers are the same, the stators are the same, everything's the same concept of the Model 2 here. They're both the same. Just the only difference is that this is flipped upside down, and they put screws on there on the chopper itself here to put like a cone on it to hold it onto it with legs. So I will bring you guys closer so you can have a good peek there on each one. So let's see here. I'm just gonna make sure I'm zoomed out here. So you can see here, right there is the motor. That's where it is on a regular Model 2. That's the motor there. And this one's got a lot more bars on its commutator than the Canadian Model 2 does, and this one might need a little more attention than the Canadian Model 2, certainly. But yeah, it's the same concept, same chopper, stator, everything like that. Just the older Model 2s, specifically the regular version, like not the Canadian version, but this regular version here. They, in the 50s, and when they were Federal Enterprises, they used long legs. I'm not sure why they went with that, but I guess it was because they were transitioning from the Federal Code Model 2, which would have had a coating solenoid there, which would have been attached to the plate, and it would have had like a little bushing so that the part can move on the board there, the metal plate, sorry, and it could produce a code on the chopper. And the coded options came with like a there was a couple of versions of the coded option there. They had like a full-on part here that slides on, that can lift up and close. So up, close, open, close, open, closed. So that would cover the port. And then they had a different version where one would slide open and slide closed. Open, closed, open, closed, open, closed. So those were the two versions that I know of that Federal Code Model 2s had at one point. And they claimed that it was also able to do Morse code due to how fast the mechanism was. So that's an interesting thing. But yeah, anyways, this Model 2 isn't working, so I think I said that before already. But that's the Federal Enterprises Model 2. Still just about the same as a modern Model 2 today, just shorter legs, no armature covers for the motor. So moving on to the Canadian Model 2. When I first heard about this siren, and I'll show you here in just a second. When I first heard about this siren was that it had like a heater or something. Sorry, let's try this again. So when I first heard of this siren, let's put this out of the way so we know what we're dealing with here, just so that we can get a clearer picture. So this siren here, originally, the rumor, I guess there was like some false information out there that these were equipped with heaters or something for the wintertime. That is, as far as I'm seeing, false. There is no heaters here for the motor to keep warm in the wintertime. Hey everyone, future me here talking. I don't know what I was going on about the heater in the Canadian Mall 2, but yeah, there is none. I'm not sure where I thought there was a heater for some reason, but maybe I read a comment somewhere on a Canadian Mall 2 video saying that someone thought there was a heater in there. But anyways, yeah, just wanted to jump in and say that real quick. Anyways, get back to the video. Anyways, but what it does change is the motor orientation. So the motor faces up, so higher inside the shroud, and is protected from the freezing rain, snow, ice, so it won't jam up the motor here and make the siren inoperable in the time of need. And they added this here to stabilize the housing. So, and they added this here so that they could have it put on the legs there. So the motor orientation is facing up, and that allows it to be jammed, hopefully not jammed. Anyways, I'm going to show you the housing, which will have differences. Just a second here. Okay, I'm back again, and now what you're looking at is the housing for the Canadian Model 2, and I will get a flashlight there and show you. So as you can see, I hope, let me turn my viewfinder so I can see what you see. There we go. So if you can see it, there's like a piece of metal in there that's wrapped around like a circle, like a cone, so to speak, or the most better way to say it is probably a can, like a garbage can, if you will, that covers the motor inside. So when you put the housing on, it goes onto the motor there and covers it almost totally. So that little feature in the Canadian Model 2 there is to help keep the snow and ice out and freezing rain. So, because water in the more colder temperatures leads to freezing rain. As you can see, that piece there they added. And now we'll compare a Federal Enterprises Model 2. Give me a second here, and I will move it. So that housing needs a lot of work, but as you can see, this version, whoops, my bad. Anyway, as you can see, this one doesn't have that feature in the housing that covers the motor. So yeah, this one's really worse condition than the other. So you can see that the roof there doesn't have that feature where it has like a paint can kind of thing to cover the motor. My goodness. My bad. Sorry for the interruption. But, oh my gosh, I'm struggling to have a spot here. Anyway. So you can see the difference here. That this one does not have that. And this style has 2 louvers on the top and 1 louver on the bottom. But that's normal on a Canadian Model 2, right? This one actually has a little bit of length here. I'll show you. Just take me a second to get the camera in view here. So you can see here, this one's got a little bit of length there. Sorry, I didn't mean to flip you off, but This one's got a little bit more length here than the Canadian Model 2 does. This one's got a short piece here. So this would be, sorry, am I zoomed in? Yeah, that's better. So this would be the same, except there's no extra metal here on the bottom on the Canadian Model 2. So you can kind of see that difference there. So hopefully I got like a, I'll take the camera off the tripod. I just need to put my phone in my pocket. That way I could take it off of the tripod here and get you guys a closer view. And hopefully I'm doing okay with the explaining and everything. I'm doing my best here. It's cold out, so. So you can see there on the inside, much better. You can see that paint can like part there. That's just bolted on the inside to the roof of the housing, the actual hat. So see there, it's just screwed on, bolted on. And that's the paint can that goes over that motor there on the Canadian Model 2 to protect it. Anyways, hopefully I've explained a little bit about the Canadian Model 2 and the differences between the regular Federal Single Model 2 here. I've tried my best to explain it the best I can. Hopefully it was clear enough. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments and I'd be happy to answer them about the differences between the two here, between the original version here and the Canadian version here. So what we learned so far was the Canadian version is meant for colder climates where snow and ice can jam the motor up or the chopper and make the siren inoperable. And that this one's inefficient for colder climates because the motor's on the bottom, thus allowing any snow or ice to get in here and form a block of ice and just freeze the siren totally, making it inoperable. Whilst the Canadian Model 2 being covered by a cone that comes over the siren to cover the motor to protect it from the winter. So the Canadian Model 2 is not supposed to sound low-toned. It's not like, it's not how it came from the factory. If you look at ARVA, my videos on ARVA and another area like Exeter, those Canadian Model 2s are much higher pitch and properly got proper performance peak, I guess I'm trying to say, or something like that. They reach their higher pitch, which is the proper pitch for a siren like this. Nothing's changed into, you know, like how, as far as the speed of the siren between the two differences here, as stated, the Federal Enterprises and the Canadian Model 2. They're not changed for the Canadian Model 2 to be a lower pitch. Usually the lower pitch is caused by the motor being worn out. Could be either be the field coil or armature being worn out, or even the brushes being on their last legs. So the brushes, when they get smaller, they don't press as tightly to the commutator as they were new, so thus the intermittent connection of electricity to the copper bars there. It's the commutator. So hopefully I cleared a little bit of that as well, misinformation too. It's not supposed to be low-toned, it's supposed to be high-pitched, like a regular Model 2. Anyways, that's it for the differences. And anyways, thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you in a different video. Thank you.